The world is a complicated place, and there is a lot of division between people. The performing arts tend to unify people in a way nothing else does. This quote is a true example of what students of PYP 5 are going to showcase through the exhibition. How we express ourselves. 100 languages of self-expression. A very good morning and namaste to respected Dr. Ghosh, Shada ma'am, our distinguished guests, our heads, coordinators and teachers, parents and all our dear students. I, Navya, with my co-host Ashmin, would like to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you present here. We are here today to witness something amazing. Art forms transcend barriers and serve as a language of truly expressing oneself. We are so excited to have every single one of you here to share this special event with us, celebrating the learning journey of our budding champions of PYP 5.
Light illuminates the way to the future. It reveals opportunities and raises expectations. It stands for wisdom, knowledge, and enlightenment. I request our President, Dr. Ghosh, our Vice President and Principal, Sharda ma'am, our heads and coordinators, and our panelists to please come forward for the lighting of the lamp.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तुते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः.
PYP exhibition is the most awaited event of the PYP, and the excitement around the exhibition is palpable in school, and I'm sure in your homes too. Students have inquired, researched, collaborated, analyzed, visualized, and worked very hard towards the exhibition. So now, let's witness their journey through an audio-visual presentation.
We, the students of PYP 5, began our exhibition journey by voting for 3 concepts: how we express ourselves, SDG, and passion project. It was definitely a difficult choice, but the more we thought about it, the more we felt that expression through art forms will allow us to raise our voice and voice our choice towards various issues that we come across around us and in the world, thus supporting sustainable development goals. We discovered that the way we express ourselves is known as self-expression, and there are a variety of approaches to accomplish it through various art forms.
Using the idea of how art influences and affects our emotions, responses, and actions, we set out on the journey of our exhibition. Our prospective mentors tried to promote the respective art forms by creating a mini museum, which gave a direction to our interest. Now, we were more than convinced which is the art form we would need to follow. We chose the art form that captivated us, such as drama, dance, music, painting or drawing, digital arts and photography. We developed a few central ideas and then unanimously zeroed in onto one. We brainstormed with our mentors on the lines of inquiry that best suited our art form and also served the objective that we had set for ourselves.
We created our essential agreements, learning goals, and success criteria. Our mentors and teachers were there at every step to guide and help us on our journey of exploration of the central idea and lines of inquiry through various hands-on activities, interviews, guest lectures, field trips, and in-depth research. We deepened our understanding of the big idea. With the help of these activities, we exhibited and developed our ATL skills and dispositions of learner profile. We were actively involved in this learning and showed commitment to contributing as individuals and as members of a group.
We were intrigued and curious about how our modest actions might help the world become a better place. We extensively researched the SDG goals and chose the issues that touched our hearts and provoked us to address them. We planned our actions individually and collectively to make a difference at a local level. We are here today with a lot of excitement to show you the knowledge, skills, and disposition we gained. Our PYP5 exhibition, we are certain, is only the start of a whole new universe to discover and participate in.
It's unbelievable that these children are only 10 years old. Their dedication, hard work, and commitment deserves a big round of applause. To get a deeper understanding of the PYP exhibition, I would like to invite our PYP coordinator, Mrs. Pratisha Ahir, who is the dynamic leader helping us set higher benchmarks. She is also an official IBEN member. Let's welcome on stage Pratisha ma'am.
A very good morning to each and everyone present here today. We are so glad to welcome you on this day. I was actually thinking this morning, I really don't know what I'm going to talk about it because there's so much. My learners are already telling you the whole journey about their exhibition. But definitely I would like to quote few lines from Khalil Gibran's poem. It's about on children, and these words definitely go what we believe in. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even your dreams. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something that, what we believe in children and we felt that a 10-year-old will be doing a few months ago? And we felt, okay, they can do this, they are capable of doing this, probably they may not be able to do this, but when we saw them doing, they were beyond what we thought, what we dreamt. And we believe that they have 100 languages to present themselves, to express themselves. And that belief has got us today on this day. But let me take you through 3 more important quotient of exhibition. Why exhibition? What is it? Is that an annual day? Is it a science fair? No, it is not. So let me take you a little bit to our program standards and practices. Any IB Continuum school who is authorized to become an IB PYP school has to go through an exhibition as a process. It comes given to us as a standard and practice. Every student studying in the last year of PYP has to go through this process of exhibition. That is something IB really want us to do. But do they tell us how it has to be done? Definitely not. Gives us a wing to experiment and explore what we can do with these 10-year-olds. What exhibition gives to children? Definitely an opportunity to collaborate, to negotiate with each other, learn to work with people probably they don't want to sit next to, right? Work with them, present together, come to an understanding that what we want to do together. And that brings the basic skills we talk about, the capabilities we talk about, which are required to survive in 21st century. And here we are. I'm glad you all are present this day. And here we present our 100 languages. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful words. Marking the commencement of the event with a beautiful invocation dance, which is an expression in our regional culture, seamlessly woven with global dance style. This is a fusion of regional folk dances such as Koli, Dhangar, Shetkari, and Western dance styles, and is a dedication to Lord Ganesha. So please welcome on stage the talented performers of Grade 4. Can we give them a big round of applause, please?
गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि ज्ञानचतुराय ज्ञानपाणाय ज्ञानान्तरात्मने ज्ञानोत्सुकाय ज्ञानमत्ताय ज्ञानोत्सुकमनसे मनसे मनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यकलक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्रपरित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्डखण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्पाय गन्धकर्ताय भोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि
Wow, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Thank you, students, for such an endearing and mesmerizing performance. Taking the event further, I am reminded of my graduation day and a beautiful quote that I would like to dedicate to the students and young graduates. Dear students, I hope your dreams take you to the corners of your smiles, to the highest of your hopes, to the windows of opportunities and the most special places your heart has ever known. With this beautiful quote, let us begin our graduation ceremony. I am delighted to welcome on stage the articulate, artistic achievers of PYP 5A. I request Dr. Ghosh and Sharda ma'am to kindly come up on stage and hand out the graduation certificates and trophies. Agarwal. Myra Mehrotra. Meera Abuj. Ridhima Shrivastava. Kavya Mishra. Shaila Gupta. Rhea Shah. Nivi Patharkar. Let's show them our love by continuing to cheer. Om Mehta. Vivika Singh. Mirai Chaudhary. Yem Jin. Smera Nayak. Sanvi Parekh. Erica Sharma. Ekansh Singh. Kshitij Adsul. Vibhas Pratapwant. Congratulations to all the graduates. You all have achieved an important milestone in your education journey.
We have a short video presentation by the music team which illustrates the kind of learning that allows students to select and make a choice of expression. Get ready to be inspired by the amazing talent and creativity of the 5th grade students in this powerful and uplifting video. These students have come together to showcase the understanding of choir, live performance, and life lessons through an experimental live choir recording. With their passion, dedication, and teamwork, they have created a truly unforgettable experience that will leave you feeling positive and affirmed. So this is a testament to the power of music, community, and the limitless potential of VK students.
Singing in a choir is an immersive and interactive way to learn about various musical elements such as harmony, rhythm, dynamics, and expression. It also helps us to develop ensemble skills and a sense of ensemble unity.
If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Lord, I'm one, Lord, I'm two, Lord, I'm three, Lord, I'm four, Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home, away from home, away from home, away from home, away from home. Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home.
At PK, through such activities, we not only learn about music, but we also learn about some practical skills such as teamwork, discipline, and commitment. It also gives us the valuable life lessons such as the power of collective efforts and the joy of shared accomplishments.
Not a shirt on my back, not a penny to my name. Lord, I can't go back home this away, this away, this away, this away, this away. Lord, I can't go back home this away. If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles.
Aren't you curious what our budding inquirers and communicators of PYP 5 are learning through music? Continuing the graduation ceremony, I would like to call the bright, bold, and brilliant go-getters of PYP 5B Welcome them with a thunderous round of applause. Araina Panjwani. Arvi Lumkar. Zara Shah. Atharva Jain. श्लोक तावडे. विराज बेलूरकर. खुशी गौतम. यशराज धिरेंगे. मोहित मुले. दर्श सजनानी. अनन्या गुप्ता. Keep the applause going. Shashwat Singh. Hiren Bhujbal. Aira Hari Prasanna. Rehat Singh. Vatsin Singh. Rajvardhan Satav. Mrunal Ubale. Yashi Panjwani. And Ahana Shrivastava. Let's hear it for our 5B graduates. Congratulations, students. Wishing you all success in all your endeavors. new beginnings, new chapters, and new excitement await you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for doing the honors.
We cannot wait to introduce you to our 4 eminent personalities from diverse fields of art to come share their journey and ideas to empower the artists of the future. So please put your hands together for our distinguished panelists, Pandit Shekhar Borkar, Mr. Randhir Khare, Mrs. Vaishali Kulkarni, and Mrs. Aziza Devgar. A few words about our experts. Pandit Shekhar Borkar is a versatile sarod player of rare artistic depth. He is not only an outstanding performer, but a brilliant teacher and an adept composer. He is highly acclaimed for the excellent innovation of his new instrument, the Sur Tarang, which is a combination of the sarod and the veena. A regular performer on the radio and television for several years, Pandit Borkar has widely traveled and has been highly acclaimed all over India and abroad for his brilliant renditions. Mr. Randhir Khare. Mr. Randhir Khare is a national and international award-winning poet, writer, artist, teacher, and folklorist. He has spent 50 years as a teacher, and his work has been published in 40 volumes, performed in 12 concerts, exhibited in 7 solo shows, and has inspired photographers, artists, and actors. He has collaborated with A.R. Rahman, who has set his poems to music. His memoir, The Flood and After, has been recently published by the Vishwakarma Publications. Mrs. Vaishali Kulkarni. Vaishali Kulkarni is the founder and director of the umbrella of the Story Station. The Story Station is a 16-year-old organization with intensive experience in working with schools, CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, Waldorf pedagogy, and independent homeschoolers. With over 16 years of experience, Vaishali is a certified storyteller, trainer, certified applied theatre facilitator, faculty for storytelling and therapy, drama therapy, performer, writer, story curator, and educator. Mrs. Aziza Devgar. Mrs. Aziza Devgar is teaching dance for over 22 years now and runs her own academy called the Step Studio. She, along with a dance team, has been featured on TV shows, India's Got Talent, as well as the Limca Book of Records. But their motive has always been to spread dance amongst laymen. She conducts workshops across Pune to spread the love for dance, to boost confidence, overcome depression, and become individuals who have absolutely no fear. I now request all the panelists to please come up on stage.
Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our panelists. I'm Ashmin Madhani. I am the PYP 5 homeroom teacher, and I am also the moderator for the panel discussion. So I wanted to tell you that while we were having this whole exhibition planning going on with children started exploring the art forms. And they started questioning, thinking, and wondering about art and different aspects and how it's shaping all the perspectives. They were coming up with a lot of questions. So we thought this would be a good platform to call everyone, experts like you, artists like you, and have the children know what it is, to explore different art forms from the artists themselves. A short intro of everyone. Mr. Randhir Khare is a writer, poet, artist, and folklorist. Please correct me if I have missed out on anything. All right, thank you. Ms. Vaishali Kulkarni. She's a storyteller, a story curator, and an educator. Pandit Shekhar Borkar is the master sarod player and an innovator. And Mrs. Aziza Devgekar. Did I get your name right? Thank you. She's a choreographer, dancer, and a teacher. So let's give them a big round of applause. Our topic for discussion today is empowering artists of the future and how the 21st century will really impact how we look at art and how we perceive art. So we are hoping that our audience from here takes with them ways in which they can provide a conducive environment for their children to realize their potential. And maybe some ways and tips from them. Also in terms of your own experiences as artists, if you can share maybe one event or one memory that has changed you as an artist. I would like to ask Dr. Kare here.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
I grew up in a very large family. There were 7 kids. And I had to work very hard to be heard. Now, I knew there was something in me as a child, but I didn't know what it was. Until I was slapped by a teacher for not doing my homework. I was a little guy, and the slap, not that I'm recommending you slap every child, but the slap did something very, very unusual to me. It made me suddenly aware that there was something out there that was about to rescue me from difficult times. So I went home, not humiliated, not in a state of sulks, not complaining to my parents, and I sat down and wrote my first poem. So to me, poetry is closest because to me, poetry liberates. Poetry awakens. It's through poetry we find ourselves. And then you look at all the other art forms, it's art that liberates. So if parents who are sitting out there realize that art in any of its many forms is allowed to their children, it will liberate them. It will wake up the 5 senses and the 6th and give them the chance to be themselves. And that's what we all want to be ourselves. We all want to be happy because every one of us has a right to be happy. Yes?
I cannot agree more with you, sir. Thank you so much. I have myself had something similar experience like you. Thank you so much. Ms. Vaishali, what are your thoughts on that?
So I come from a generation between Khare sir and all the parents sitting here. So while I didn't come from a joint family with so many people in them, I also didn't come from a nuclear family where there are just parents and the child. I was just sharing with my friend there that back then a celebration was a sandwich from margarine, a pineapple pastry and a rose milk, and that itself was a great achievement. Now I think the children today are very lucky because every small achievement of theirs is celebrated so much. We are becoming very conscious parents, paying attention to all the little things that our children do, and we acknowledge what they do as well. I was very lucky that 20 years back when I was walking the streets of Pune and I just turned to my father and I said, you know, Appa, I want to tell stories on the road. And instead of questioning me, he told me, okay, so you need to find out who you have to contact. I looked at my mother thinking she'd be quite skeptic, and she said, yeah, and then you have to decide where you're going to sit and what you're exactly going to do. So you need to plan better. I was very lucky to have parents who were so, motivating, so inspiring. And I can say very confidently about all parents today, because with 1 or 2 children and with a small family setup, you're aware of everything your child is doing. I think just give them the positive nurturing and guide them through whatever they find their interest is. And if it's art, let them explore. At the same time, be a part of it as well. And I think when you're part of their journey, they can really discover a lot of things in themselves, the way I discovered my potential, because my family was a part of my journey in every small thing, whether it was a presentation that I had to make or a story that I had to experiment. I didn't have to do it in front of the mirror. It was the family that was present to give me their plus and minuses when it came to sharing a story. So just keep motivating your children, keep observing what they really like, and ask them to explore. I think that will really take them in the path that they are supposed to. Instead of rediscovering themselves at the age of 30 and 35, they'll know what path to lead right away.
Absolutely. Motivation and encouragement goes a long way. Yes, Mrs. Aziza.
Hi everyone, good morning. So I'm very excited to mention my story, because in my house we are a family which has migrated from Iran, and my grandfather was extremely a strict man, and I don't know how luck was, but there were only women in the house. His wife and his 3 daughters, and I was the first grandchild. And mom got divorced at a very young age, which was 17. So I was forced to live with my grandparents. They happily did that. But then, being very traditional background, we were not allowed to have all the freedom. We were always head to toe dressed in scarf. And I always questioned my mom, why am I wearing this? And my mom said, because people look at you with a bad eye. I said, in fact, they look at me more. They stare at me, and I'm not comfortable with this. Not that I wanted to project something wrong. But then, in this process, I gained a lot of weight. I was like 76 kilos at the age of 14. And my mom pushed me to go to the gym without telling anyone at home. A lot of kids do that, let me tell you. I went to the gym and I started working out in an aerobics class. And there was a beautiful teacher called Geeta ma'am, as fit as Ira, just beautiful. And one day my teacher didn't turn up for the class, and Geeta ma'am was our senior coordinator. She stood outside and she said, what are you doing here? Go and take the class. I said, I'm not comfortable. She said, no, what is not comfortable? I said, I don't look like a trainer. I don't feel like one. I'm so fat and plump. She said, just go ahead, do the class. And that one class and that one teacher changed my life. I decided to get into teaching. I think any good teacher can change a child's life. And of course, all the beautiful women in my house who hid things from the men in the house, which ultimately did get exposed. But without them, I think I would have been absolutely nothing. Thank you.
Rightly said. One teacher, one event can really change your life. Sir, what are your thoughts on that?
Hello, good morning. My story is a bit different. I come from a family with no musical background at all. In fact, they were wondering where I got into music. But I played a little guitar, and I lived in Bombay in a very Western-oriented area where everybody played the guitar and things like that. So I played the guitar. And then once I chanced to hear Ustad Ali Akbar Khan, the great Sarod maestro. And I told one of my uncle, I want to buy that instrument. I want to play that instrument. So he says, no, your mom, your dad will get irritated, because you don't come from a musical family. But I insisted. And then I bought that instrument way back in the mid-60s. It cost just 300 rupees. Can you believe it? That same instrument today costs 1.5 lakh. So I got that instrument and I just kept practicing relentlessly, you know. And then I was introduced to Ustad Ali Akbar Khan, and then I started my journey. You know. It has been really difficult, but I practiced for hours and hours together, you know. And I believe that, you know, you don't have to come from a lineage of musicians to become a musician. Where there's a will, there's a way, you know. And I really did it, and well, here I am, very happy, and I'm teaching some young enthusiastic students as well. And yes, that's it, thank you.
That's so rightly said. You don't need to come from a lineage to be an artist. An artist can come from anywhere. The way the discussion is going to go forward is that we have curated few questions for you, and then we have some questions which are from our learning community. So when we arranged for this panel discussion, we send out a Google form to our learning community, parents, teachers, students, to ask them if they have any questions for you, and we got a good response. So we have few questions from there as well, which we will be taking after that. First question is for you, Khare sir. Sir, we often come across statements such as art is not a profession, it's a hobby. Or I remember when I was growing up, it was said that art is a profession of the elite. What are your thoughts? What is the general mindset of people around art and artists?
See, for all my years of experience, I've found that everybody across the board, the bottom line is money, the bottom line is social position, the bottom line is achievement. Now, art in its essence has nothing to do with any of these. Art has to do with self-growing. So the biggest challenge today is not that we don't have enough facilities or opportunities. Their colleges, their institutions, their art teachers, their teachers of literature. But when it comes to what am I going to do with my life, you'll never say I want to be a writer. From the 350 young people that I have mentored, all of them started with their parents expecting them to improve their English, to improve their communication, and most importantly, to find their own way in life according to the parental expectations, which is according to societal expectations. Now, it's a very tough run for the parents. So in the end, I would say that here today we have, I don't mean here, but in the world, the excellence, the availability of technology. So a kid who writes poetry then gets his poem visualized and put on a screen, and the father or mother being very pleased with this being so. But that process that happens inside a child, inside a young person, is never acknowledged. I've had many young people come to me. When I say young, I'm talking about in their 30s, who were doctors. Devdutt Patnaik is a doctor. So he came to me for mentorship. And I said, why are you a doctor? You can write very well. He said, no, I don't want to be a doctor. I said, then why were you a doctor? Because my parents expected me to be. So halfway through the mentorship, when he was writing great stuff, he vanished. So I said, what's the problem? He said, the problem is that my parents wanted me to do the civil services exam. I said, so then finally, what were the results? He said, I managed to get into the postal division. So I said, Devdutt, are you crazy? Get on with your writing. So what happens is the biggest block is parental expectations. And if we allow, just like they encourage here in this school, if we allow our children to explore, and the more they can explore, the more they will discover. A great young painter, he was about 34, came to me for an exhibition. And I said, okay, I'll promote you. Tell me about yourself. He said, I've done IIT and IIM. So I said, why are you painting? He said, because I find my fulfillment here. But in a profession, you're not supposed to find your fulfillment. I said, why are you talking rubbish? So what we do need today is a deeper awakening. Facilities are everywhere, technology is everywhere, entertainment is everywhere. But the value of an activity is nowhere. And if slowly this can be improved and children be made to, and young people and older people be made to be aware by encouraging them to write, to draw, to paint, to sing, to do whatever, the spirit within them to create will emerge. So if you ask me what is the state of the arts today, I'll say technologically great, maybe in communities, in folk communities and all that it's there, but by and large in urban communities, no. So we need it, and every institution needs to have a creative arts program which encourages self-expression. Through that, you discover who you truly are. Yeah?
Thank you for that. Thank you. It's very truly perspective that how we put value that really shapes how we look at something. I would like to ask my next question to Aziza ma'am. When a child expresses a desire to pursue art or a creative path, adults often get anxious about their future. What were your challenges when you decided to pursue this as a career path?
Hi everyone again. I always feel that it's not, sorry to disagree a bit, but it's not always just parents who put pressure. It is the society which puts pressure on the parents, and then it comes on the child. You have to achieve this, you have to achieve this. So, of course, being a software engineer myself, I would like to mention that. I'm a master's in computer science myself. I've worked as a software engineer. I just felt at that time, education is important, but I want to keep the other side, what I love, also alive. Because mom always told me one thing, that you will always have a timeline of liking something. That timeline, if you pass that, that will become your full-time career. Don't take a decision very early when you're 14, 16 or 18. Wait till you're 20, 21. That's when you'll decide, okay, I want to really do this. And society, of course, they do put. So the personal pressure would always be that, why is she dressed like this? She's taking a class where there are men in the class and she's dancing and all of that. But then I am happy that I overcame that, and I'm just happy that I worked in an IT field for 4 years. But side by side, I kept my career alive so that I could choose my path later. So this was a difficult personal experience for me when I had to finally choose, because as Khare sir said, money is important, social status is also important, but nothing can be achieved without hard work. You have to work hard in your education field as well as in art field. You can't take any of it for granted. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So students, hard work, definitely. Pandit Borkar. Sir, you're not just an artist, you're also an innovator. And you have seen art evolve. In your opinion, how art forms are changing in the 21st century?
Well, just in 2 words. Well, with the advent of modern technology, everything is computer-based, and just with the touch of your fingers, you have everything there. But we had to go through the hard way. Way back in the 60s and 70s, we had no such things. And to reach out to people, we had to travel. But here, your artist is right there in your house, So there have been lots of changes, good and bad, It has been a boon as well as, you can say a curse. But that's how it is.
Thank you, sir. That really makes sense. Yes, art has evolved. If anybody would like to add on to anything, please feel free to add on to any of those points. Yes, ma'am.
A little insight, especially because the children today are so aware of chat GPT,
Yes.
Anything that you look for is very easily available, Any sort of information is so easily available. But honestly, the insight has to come from you. What you feel from inside, no chat GPT can tell you. You can just put together everybody's thoughts. But what you experience or what you learn from your own art form is your insight. And that cannot come from any kind of, platform which is available anywhere else. So we need to look deep within ourselves and see what we find as our learning in any art form that we take up.
Thank you. That students today have that kind of access, but to make sense of that access and use it in the right way is the important part. Thank you. Vaishali ma'am, we have seen that in many households, professions are carried forward from one generation to other. For example, if someone is born in a business family, he or she is most likely going to take up the business profession. In this scenario, when someone thinks differently, what does it take for that person to break the cycle of family history?
It's a great question because I think as parents, all of us, even I'm a mother of two, as parents we all feel that a cushioned life is what our children should get. And since we have had experience in that field, if that's what the child takes up, then he'll have a comfortable life. We don't want to see our children struggling in anything. So we come from a generation wherein struggle was a part of the way we grew up, and it was very natural, and we thought this is how life is, but that's not what we want to give our children. So I think one aspect of it, of expecting children to do what we already know, comes from the fact that we care for them a lot. But at the same time, it's also important to look at it from another dimension. Since we come from families where we can provide the cushioning to our children, why don't we let them explore? Why don't we let them try something? Why don't we let them falter, fail, experience, and tell them we are there? We are not going to helicopter over you throughout, but we are there. You can turn and look at us, whenever we want. And like I said in the beginning, I think I was very lucky. I think probably because my father came from a familial pressure of taking up a job and earning and, helping his parents because he had 12 siblings. When I turned to him and said, this is the career path I want to take, because I come from a background of pharmaceuticals and product management. I did my master's. But I found my calling in telling stories. And just like Aziza, I was doing my job, and on Saturdays, Sundays, I started telling stories on the streets. And the way in which I could convince my parents, which is what I think all children should do, is you devise your own vision. Shorter vision at a time. Not that I want to become someone great where I am, today, maybe after 20 years, but in the next 2 years, I want to do this. In the next 4 years, I see myself here. And if you study and you find out and you research and you explore and you take your people with you in that journey, I think as parents, you'll be able to put more trust in your children as well. You won't feel you're sending them somewhere in the blind, and you're with them in the journey. So I think with all the opportunities of technology that's available, with the support of great teachers who are there, and with the innovation which is happening around all of us, if we all walk hand in hand, automatically the children will have the courage to explore, will be able to study whatever field that they want to take. Even if it's art, it's important to study. People usually think creativity matlab padna nahi hai, isliye kuch to creative karna hai. It's like they feel it's a getaway, it's an easy way out. But let me tell you, it's a tougher field there. You need to really educate yourself, you need to research, you need to find out, you need to convince people around you that what you're doing is what you really wish to do. And every single day you have to prove it to yourself. that what path you've chosen is the right path, is your calling. Because I think with respect to art, it's a calling. It's something that you feel from within your heart, and then you move towards that journey. So, like I said in the beginning, it's a journey that you all have to travel together. So I don't think there's anything like a family, job that people have to take. Father did this, grandfather did it, grandchild does it as well. But walk with your child in the journey that they want to take up, and be there for them, because that's what, as parents, we're supposed to do. We want to do. We don't want to just leave them that way. So
I so agree with you. And I love the thoughts that you put across, that you have to remind yourself every day and convince yourself every day more than convincing the society. I think that's a very important part. Now we will take some questions which have come from the learning community. The first question is for Mrs. Aziza. This is from a parent, Dr. Aditi Shah, and she wants to know how to tap talent or art form in our children and nurture the artist in them, along with balancing academic performance, especially in high school. In what way can we contribute as a parent in their journey?
I think parents today are really supportive. So firstly, hats off to all you parents who encourage every child to achieve what they wish to do. And I think children are always confused. What is very important is to sit down and talk to them and let them plan what they wish to do. But give them goals, like a 6-month goal or a 1-year goal. That will you achieve this in this much time when you are doing so and so particular thing. And that's when the child understands that I have to achieve something to move ahead. Let it be academics or in the field of art. But I prefer the balance form, where they are taught to balance two things together. So education is very important, because that is what makes them understand whether they like something or dislike something. So, padai important hai. That I will keep on saying again and again. I'm like those typical parents who will always say this. But yes, they need that little getaway for themselves to realize, if not this, maybe this can work for me. So don't let your child go under this pressure that you have to be a doctor, engineer. You can be a chef. You can be a soaper. You can be a dancer. You can be what you want, and you can make a beautiful profession out of it. But yes, you need to have a goal and a target to achieve something. I just feel kids today go around little aimlessly in a particular direction, not realizing where they are going. They just want to reach somewhere, and because of Instagram and Facebook being so popular, they are always trying to copy somebody, become a shadow of somebody. There they need to tap their individuality and move ahead. So make them realize that you are an individual, you can't be so and so. You can't have a YouTube channel and have 3 million followers. Maybe you will have only 3,000, and that's why you should not continue ahead and select another field. So that is how I would expect parents to lead forward with their children. Thank you.
You've hit the nail right. Goal setting and having short goals, giving them space to explore, is something that parents and teachers both can help students with. The next question is from a parent again. It's for Mr. Khare. It's from Archana, and she wants to know, what is the future of regional language poetry in your opinion?
I think regional language poetry has a greater future than English language poetry. Because it is not a question of, with poetry, it's not a question of how many people you reach and how many people understand your language, but the quality. So it's not distance, it's depth. And if you can touch 1, 2, 3, 10, 15, 20, 100 people, you've achieved what you want to achieve. That means your poetry has truly touched people. But if you're out over there and you're selling thousands and thousands and lakhs of copies of something, and everybody is saying it's great and it's a bestseller, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a work of value. Because regional poetry talks in a language that people truly understand and is connected in a great deal, in a great way, to people's values, people's customs. I had a friend, poet friend, Manglesh Dabral. He unfortunately, COVID took him away. And we were traveling to Bulgaria on a literary ambassadorship. And he said, he was a Hindi poet, very accomplished. And he said, let's collaborate. I want to translate my poems into English. So I said, Manglesh, why do you want to translate it into English? He says, no, so I can reach more people. I said, in what manner will you reach more people? Now, Manglesh is no more, he's moved on, and so many other poets have come and translated themselves into English and gone ahead. But the value of regional poetry lies in the value of the language, value of the customs. Am I right or wrong in that? And I think it's rootedness that matters. It's not internationalism, it is the rootedness of an inner community, folk community, or whatever. Thank you.
First local, then global.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Pandit Borkar. The next question is from a teacher, Anita, and she wants to know that in the age of plagiarism, how can we safeguard intellectual property rights where everything gets copied instantly, especially art?
Oh my God. Plagiarism. Difficult. Well, the only solution would be copyright. Patent it, But even that's not guaranteed, really, frankly speaking. Because I have made an instrument called the sitar, and assuming I have 6 keys in the instrument, somebody can make a similar instrument with 5 keys and say it's mine. So it is difficult, But I think that's the only solution, I guess. Well, otherwise, bear with it.
I think that stays as a challenge for every artist.
It is, it is difficult.
If you please add on.
I think we should take it as a compliment that they are copying us. So, well and good. Create something better. That's what an artist is made for. That if they copy A, just create B, C, D. Let them take the years to make those alphabets. I think that's how we artists work.
Right. Somebody stole my style of drawing, and I said nothing. And my friends are upset. The same person stole an entire novel of mine, children's novel, and recast it with some mixed up characters. And everyone is very upset. And all I said was, oh, that doesn't matter. There's 1,000 where that came from. Creativity belongs to everyone.
That's a very interesting take, sir. And yes, every artist has this challenge at one point of time or other. And I think how you decide to take it really takes you forward that way. So, yes. Vishali ma'am, next question is from a student. What is the need in the society to preserve art forms, and how can we do it?
I think nowadays art is looked at more of a format wherein someone constantly wants to present it. It has to be showcased. It has to be seen. It has to be liked. It has to be forwarded. No? As in, And unfortunately, when we look at art in that format, it also has a very short shelf life. No? Because we see it now, like it, forget it. We see it, we put a heart, it moves on, we forget it. We think, we believe this notional value. It's like that Bitcoin, I would say. You know, it has got this notional value that 25,000 people have liked what I have presented or put out there. But I think as children, we must realize that what is art really doing to us, and what is it that I want to say through my art? Am I learning the art to impress an audience? Or am I worshipping that art because I feel about it from within? And when you start respecting the art form, when you start honoring the art form, like how Randir Kare said, then it is not about how many people I reach. It's about how much I have learned. So I think to immerse yourself in the art is the only way in which you can keep art alive. Don't be in this constant urge to reach out to 50,000 people, or many people should come to my exhibition and everyone should talk about me, because this is happening to everybody, and the next day the next newspaper comes or the next Instagram swipe. Actually, you're swiped away very easily nowadays. You know, memory of you gets swiped away. And I think as an artist, like how Borkar sir said, that riyaz is very important. And when you keep swiping away your presence, that means you're neither teaching anyone anything nor have you learnt anything. You know, you have to be there. It's like wanting to go back to a Bhimsen Joshi song, wanting to go back and listen to a Kishore Amonkar song. Or for me, sir, I have to mention, remembering listening to my first story in 2005 when I heard Randir Kare sir. I was 23 years old. Very casual, unassuming. And I was blown away. I became his fan. And there I saw storytelling as an art form which was there for what it was. It was not presented for impressing people. It was not presented with, it will teach you A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I think that quest kills or dilutes art. So to keep art alive, worship it, understand it, and keep learning it all your life. There's something new to learn from everyone around you every single day. And as a storyteller, I find stories around me every single day. So I can't say I'm a great storyteller because I'm telling stories for 20 years. I think till my last breath, I will keep finding a new story and a new way of telling it. So riyaz, dedication, worshipping, all these things will keep the art alive.
Thank you. That's yes. Riyaz, dedication and worship. Thank you so much.
I think I'll add the fourth one. When I walked in, I saw all parents with their phones recording their children. And that enthusiasm should live even if the child is in 10th standard. So we tend to judge the enthusiasm when the child is in the 4th standard, 5th standard. So the parents get up and record the baby. Oh, look at my baby, he's dancing. And when he reaches 10th, he or she, so the question, 10th mein hai, dance kar raha hai? And that enthusiasm should always, this is the fourth I would like to add to her point, keep the parental enthusiasm up whatever your child does.
Parental enthusiasm is very important for all the children, and it really gives them wings to fly. Now I have one question, and I would like all of you, maybe whoever would like to answer this question or add on to it. As parents and teachers, what is our role in empowering the artist of the future?
I've been waiting to say it, but there was no space to say it. See, I think it's the sort of life we're living at various levels in our society is all about the future. It's all about what we want to go to be. It's all about, it's all about goals. It's all about going there. It's not about being present. It's not about being aware of things. It's not about making your five senses alive to listening at things around you. Speaking. So my point really is, if you want to nurture artists for the future, we have to encourage them to be present in what they are doing. Because the level of distractibility is very, very high. And as you are aware, that there is a syndrome known as a nature deficit syndrome, where if you are not exposed to nature enough, you become hyperactive. You have the potential of even verging onto ADHD. Okay? But so if you make a child aware from a young age and as they're growing up, to just be present, not necessarily, okay, I'm here because now I have to go there, but what about here? So you have to encourage curiosity in your children. You have to encourage awareness in your children, and you have to encourage response in your children. They will find the way, they will develop their art.
That's food for thought, sir, definitely. We all think about future more and forget what we're doing now. And I think it's very important to be present and feel and know what we are doing. Anyone else would like to add on to this? Yes?
So like I said earlier, art has become all about performing. And I keep emphasizing that if every parent wants every child to be on stage, who's going to be the audience? Just the parents who are appreciating their children holding up their phones? We need to create good listeners also. We need to create a good audience also. So I think just like to be mindful at that moment, it's also important to sit, observe and absorb. You don't have to constantly keep learning, and you don't have to constantly keep proving it by writing an exam or achieving something. Sometimes just by purely sitting at the back and observing, you've learned something that you can't really put into very simple words. But later on you discover that there is some life lesson that you've learned. So I always encourage parents to, you must share your stories. Not in terms of, अरे तुम्हारे ज़माने में तो इतना easy है हमने. No, not in terms of trying to give them lessons or telling them how life was tough for us. But by sharing anecdotes wherein they see how life was so different for you and how life is so different for them. Like in my home, it's a great comparison, to the extent that my son will sometimes ask me, so during your time, was there color TV? I said, I don't come from the time of apes. It's not so back then. Of course, the transition and changes have happened so sudden and so quickly that those children can't imagine the days that we've grown up. But when you share the stories of your life, I think just over a dinner table conversation, not to give gyan per se, I think they take in a lot without you really teaching them a lot. As parents, I think it's important. It's a good way to empower your children is to share your failures with them. Tell them how you faltered. Tell them how you made mistakes. And tell them that I made my mistake, but see, I'm okay, I'm right here, nothing goes wrong. And I think today, as much as we give attention and importance to every achievement of our child, we have to stop giving importance to their failures. They fail, they get up, they move on. That's an important lesson, I think, as parents, that we should really teach them.
Failure is first attempt at learning. So yes, that's a beautiful point brought up. So unfortunately, we are running out of time. So thank you so much for this incredibly thoughtful discussion. As teachers and as educators, it's our responsibility to create the right kind of environment for our budding artists. A big thank you to the wonderful audience and to everybody for sharing your words of wisdom. Thank you for taking time out and gracing the event. Thanks a lot.
Now back to our graduation ceremony. Let's cheer for the creative and compassionate champions of PYP 5C. Put your hands together, please. Let's welcome them all on stage. I request our MYPDP head, Jaya ma'am, our EYP head, Desiree ma'am, and Pandit Borkar to please come up on stage and do the honors. Arpit Jadhav. Afraz Hussain. Tanish Ghosh. Siddhant Singh. Kimaya Bora. Raghav Desai. Vivan Kabra. Kabir Rai. Shiv Chavri. Keep the applause going, everyone. Amara Bansal. Dhruv Arora. Path Upadhyay. Jeuna. Sanvi Shekhar. Singh Jili. Gauri Singla. Soumya Mandwani. Congratulations, graduates. The stars await you, and we have no doubt that you will reach them and beyond. Now, we have our PYP4 students who are going to grace us with their presence and offer their heartfelt wishes for our graduating class through the power of music. As they harmonize and sing their hearts out, we're reminded of the immense potential that each of our students possess. With dedication, consistency, and a positive attitude towards learning, our PYP5 graduates are destined for greatness. And we can only imagine the heights they will soar into the years to come. So let us sit back, relax, and enjoy the magical performance that our PYP4 students have prepared for us. May their music uplift our spirits, inspire our hearts, and set the tone for an unforgettable graduation ceremony. begin with our graduation ceremony, it's time to welcome the daring and dynamic achievers of PYP 5D. May I request our PYP coordinator, Pratisha ma'am, Mrs. Vaishali Kulkarni, and Mrs. Aziza Devgar to please come up on stage and do the honors. Advait Agarwal. Atharva Sinha. Reet Kalir. Arhan Goyal. Riyansh Colgood. Aditi Priya. Gyan Naidu. Yashra Chavan. Harshad Ubali. Ridhima Padi. Prithviraj Gawate. Michael Chuk Uma. Neil Goswami. Dhanya Jaykumar. Congratulations to the class of PYP 5 Diamonds. We wish you the very best in the years to come. What a wonderful feeling, and I'm sure all our students feel jubilant and ecstatic about the achievements today. It was a sight worth beholding, a proud moment for all of us today to watch our young PYPians cross the final threshold to begin a brand new chapter of their lives in MYP. Can we give them a big round of applause? So any event at VKE is incomplete with a few inspiring words of motivation from our beloved Dr. Ghosh, sir. May I please request you, sir, to please come up and share your pearls of wisdom with all of us.
Morning, everyone. You know, looking at these children, I know many of you parents too, and the beloved teachers. While watching them, you must have had tears in your eyes. Well, so did I. I joined your team. I saw them growing up from tiny babies. Some of them were even mother's womb. And from there they come up. We're talking about this success story. There are two angles to this. I would like to see what I kind of experience. And experience is nothing else. What is an experience? I experience this microphone. It's an object has to be there, and I have to be conscious. I cannot be unconscious. I cannot be in coma. The consciousness and an object. Anything in this world is your consciousness and an object. So my request to you as the teachers, the parents, and the grandparents, hey, you got the wonderful gift from the God. If you believe in God. Don't believe in God, unified field, consciousness, nature, whatever you like to call. A rose bush and an oak wood tree were growing up together. And they used to play and have fun and make fun and merriments together. And soon enough, they used to have lots of things to share. But the oak wood continued to grow tall and taller and taller. And the rose bush stayed small. And the oak wood tree right from the top would say, hey, I miss you. Why don't you come up? I see all these clouds and the birds and the feathers and such wonderful mountains and snow peaks. Rose bush said, oh yeah. Just because now you have grown so tall, you've forgotten about me. And all you talk about the high-flying birds and the mountains and the peak. The oak wood tree said to the rose bush, it is not I who have grown so tall. It is you who have chosen to stay so small. So my request to you as the parents and the teachers, Randi sir, it just came to me. I don't know anything about you. From the beginning, the moment children are growing up, they're like a sponge. They're soaking up. What are you feeding them? You feed them what you and I are. So if I'm a great doctor, I'd like my children to be a doctor. I'm a great writer, a great poet, great dancer, great musician. I want them to be one like that. This barbershop, Papillon, have you all seen it? It's in Gandharva Rangmanch. Thank you. Many of you have seen. The Papillon owner, it's a barbershop, by the way. It's one of the very good barbershop in that area. His father and mother, they both are doctors, and they got a beautiful hospital right next to, almost close to it. And I happened to meet him. He used to come to me. And one day I was asking him, you're a doctor. How come you're running a barbershop? He said, you know what? My parents wanted me to be a doctor. So I've worked hard, and I became a doctor. And after becoming a doctor, I told my mom and dad, hey, I've become now what you wanted. Can I become what I want to? So you and I, consciously or unconsciously, many of you beautifully covered that there's social dictums, your things. What is happening? This education. What is education? All of us want to be educated. We want educated children. What is education? Would somebody like to comment? Let me tell you. As per Vedanta, this is not just an IB school, it's an international baccalaureate world school coupled with the philosophy of the Vedanta. And most of it, as it is in our Upanishads and Vedanta given, and Swami Vivekananda brought it to the fore 1893, 11 September in a World Chicago Conference. He told the world, what is education? He said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in your child. And that's what all of you were talking so beautifully commented upon. Where's the perfection? It's inside them. You and I doing what? You and I were, we all studied in our school days. And we studied and studied and studied, and we had to work very hard. Why? Because mom and dad said, get good marks, 100 out of 100. And even if I got 98 out of 100 in maths, my mom and dad most probably will land by saying, very good, keep it up, next time 100. That always is there. Whereas, you and I were never told by a teacher or by a parent or grandparent, more or less, not entirely, that, hey, you're a champion. Would you work with me? I'll make sure you will be an all-rounder India topper. Not just a dancer, musician, poet, writer, scientist, doctor, engineer, but all-rounder. You can be anything. Tell me, including the so-called physically disabled children, can't you see the perfection in them? If you and I can't see, the default is in us. It's not in them. Stephen Hawking, you know who? Arthur Nash, you know who they are. Great Nobel laureate, what mind, and totally disabled body. So it's not the body. I don't say that don't take care of your body. Hey, your body is the temple. So you have to take care of the temple and make sure that you and I take them up through that journey where perfection is within. And yours and my job is actually to be an inspirator, a motivator. Tell them, you can. What? Anything. Just choose. And it's lovely to hear Vaishali ma'am being a great storyteller. I have so many wonderful stories. I lovely to see Nadia said ma'am coming down here. She's one of our parents from a long time. I think 25 years ago. And lovely to see that you have come down. And so many of you have been here who have believed in this. Because, see, one thing, we do not advertise at all. The reason is that those who are supposed to come here, you parent, grandparent, have come here because you've been divinely guided to come here, to discover, to uncover. You know, what is it, discover, uncover? You know, it's like a gift. Let's say your anniversary, your birthday, you got a wonderful gift. And you got the gift in your hand, and it's so beautifully packed by your husband. You know, Valentine's Day went just the other day. So beautifully packed, and must have paid a lot of money, your wife or your husband or a friend. You don't want to open it. You're pretty happy, and you're holding on to it. And your husband and wife or the friend must be saying, hey, come on, open it. I'm waiting for you to open it. Tell me how you like it. You say, no. I like the gift. You know what is this? You and I, the moment I say, where's Robin Ghosh? Here. Where is he? Here. This is me. Who's that me? This body, this name, this form, a gender. And maybe my profession. Is that it? No. It's just an application. This body, name, form is an application. Your software and the hardware is within you. And that's what gets triggered by you and I as the senior elders. I don't know if you're aware, in Vedanta, it says that your child has chosen you to be your child. You didn't even, may not even have got married at that time. But the child chose, I want to be this mother, because he knew that this is the one who would give me expression to that. What I need to uncover, discover from me, from within. So each one of them are powerfully gifted. It doesn't matter what they can't. Supposing there are defects, those defects come up actually because of you and me, who's the ambience, who's the environment. You know why? Let's give you an example. We have a national flag. Everybody knows our country's national flag, right? Or the foreigners, your country's national flag. Tell me, you all know about Ashok Stambha, our national pillar? Everybody knows it. What's written on it? Some of you may be remembering it, some of you may be not. Have you realized? We have forgotten. like Charles' law, Boyle's law, Faraday's law, Ohm's law. Why? Wrong teaching methodology, principles. What's written on it? The moment I tell you, it will flash in your mind for those who can't recollect. Satyameva Jayate. The truth alone will win. Thank you. Truth alone will win. In other words, what? If you want yourself to win in your life, if you want your children to become who they are and be the winner, winner means what? Winner doesn't mean I stand first and I get millions of dollars. No. Winner meaning I make sure that everybody around me win. And when I make everybody win, you cannot, but you will be the winner. You have so many examples in the world, in your country. So you and I have to show them that the streak is within you. In other words, what? I believe in you. I don't know if you know Amartya Sen, great Nobel laureate, he's no more. He was, multiversity of Tagore. He was the head of the economic department. Very successful, multinational countries, university. He was very happy. His mother said, "Hey, Amartya, this is not the end." He said, "Mom, I'm already one." She said, "I don't know what, but I know this is not your end." She said, "Then what should I do?" She said, "I don't know. That you find out." What? Inquiry. This is what our teachers are doing, and the coordinator, the heads of the program, is guiding you to do inquiry. Ask question. Millions and millions had seen an apple fall. Tell me, why did Isaac Newton become the discoverer? He's the only one who asked, "Hey, why did it fall?" Have you realized your children are always asking questions? No? And I remember one mother had come to me a long time back, almost 20 years back, and this daughter, 6, 7 years old, wouldn't speak, wouldn't talk. And after being with her for a while, I could see, I said, just watch what happens to her. In about 6, 7 months' time, this mother came and said, "I don't know what you did to her. She's eating up my head. All the time talking only." All you have to do is just open up the floodgate for them. And if you do that, by what? By just believing in them. And show them that power, that expression of what you want to be is within them. You heard so many success stories here right now. There is to be, looking at Nadia, I remember one of her colleagues, you remember Ashu Singhal? She's today right now in Delhi, great corporators. And one day, Ashu is still in touch with me continuously, keeps coming here. One day she came and said, "Doc, I'm fed up." I said, "What happened?" 5-year-old daughter, Mishi, she's become who I will just tell you. I said, "What happened?" "She took money from my purse." I said, "Really? Tell me what happened." She said, "I don't know. I just happened to go through a school bag and I found 500 rupee, 100 rupee notes." Those days this 500 rupee was not very common. And can you imagine? She's stolen from me. What teaching are you doing to her? So I just looked at her for a while. I said, "Can you give me a minute? You go out into the garden." We had a big garden outside. And I called Mishi. I said, "Mishi, come here. Come tell me what happened." She started crying. She said, "Sir, I don't know why mommy is so angry with me." I said, "Tell me what happened." See, I take apple from the fridge, eat it. She appreciates me. When I go ahead and drink a glass of milk, she said, "Good girl." And I took money from her purse. She doesn't mind if I take the lipstick. She says, "How cute." And if I take money from her, she gets so upset. Why? Have you realized? Children don't know what's telling lie or what's money. You and I know. We poison their mind. Mishi has gone on to be a great head of the HR today. She's heading a company there in Delhi. I had taken down, there is one of the boy right now here. I wouldn't take the name because it'll be partial, because everybody is a success story here. Everyone, however bad, and this is what Shada ma'am, great principal vice president, with Jaya ma'am, Ira ma'am, each one of them are taking on through the coordinators, at the heads of the program, through the coordinators, and through you at the head of the program, and you as the parent. See, you are a success story, you as a parent today. And if you look carefully, you will know that success of yours, which is your story. And it's something beautiful looking at today, Randy sir and Vishali and Borkar and Nadia. I'm telling you, why don't you start writing your stories and the poem what Randy sir was telling you? You know, I'm a fighter pilot. I didn't know anything about teaching and learning. But what happened, it's somewhere, I will not tell you the long story, but I became a very good fighter pilot. Why? Just like you, I used to be a good student. Good meaning what? Without any effort, is to do reasonably well. And mom and dad said, very nice. I never stood more than third, first, second or third. They never said anything. They said you have to be good in sports and good in games. We all did reasonably well. Now, I was sent to many countries by Chief himself. He became very fond of me. And what was I doing? I was just having fun. Just had fun. And this is what we do here with your students. Fun. First. Nadia was telling me today, I still remember 20 years back, how my son used to come and look at the dinosaurs and telling me the dinosaurs. You know what we used to do? That time it's a beautiful, huge garden. And right next to the dinosaur, I still remember, if you remember, there was a huge wasp nest. You know, those dangerous looking yellow and black. So everybody said, sir, you have to burn it, you have to kill it, you have to throw it out, otherwise they'll bite the children. I said, no, they won't bite the children. She said, sir, they will. I said, okay, come with me. I took them. I don't know how I got that idea. I'd never done it before. I was just guided. I went and put my hand on the nest. You know, the wasp came in and started walking on my hand. I brought the children. Mothers were saying, no, sir, not my son. I said, please let them come. And they came. The wasps were walking all around the house. I said, now you can let it be. They went back. They are not hostile. In other words, what the message? It doesn't mean go and put your hand in front of a snake, okay? I'm just saying, take the message. This nature is always ready to help us. Are we ready to receive? Our hands are clutched up and clogged up with our mind, brain, and consciousness unit. This is who I think I am. And we're getting locked up in that. We have to let ourselves go. You, sir, you, ma'am, right now, as the mother and the father, if you just take it up and just allow yourself to be. There's one of the fathers sitting here. I know he's here because his daughter just now got PYP 5. He was an IIT great professional. Long time ago, he came to me and he was talking. He only telling me, I had forgotten about it. And he came to me and he said, see, I've earned enough money and I want to do something. I said, first thing, keep your daughter as the center. Don't get from here to US or somewhere or something just for the professional growth. Sure, your professional growth is important because country needs foreign exchange and earning rate. Yes, you do that. But keep your daughter. You know, yours and my time when we were growing up, our father was the center, no? Wherever father went, we also went with him, no? I'm saying now, don't do it. Hold on to it. I can see the mother is already shaking her head. She knows who am I talking about. Mom and dad, both of them, chose to change their profession, more or less, and are sticking here. And great expression of their, this is what I'm saying. Hold your sons and daughters as the center and just watch. You know, Pritisha took out the Rubaiyat, one of the beautiful poem. I would like to give you a little bit of the end of it. Your sons and daughters are not your children and not your children. Remember, she read out Pritisha. Pritisha is not here. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. That nature, the God, the consciousness, the scientific field, whatever you like to call. It goes ahead at the end and it says, You are the bow, and your children are the arrows. So you are the bow as a parent, as a teacher. Your children are the arrows, living arrows. It goes on to say it's a living arrow. And be glad for the bending of the archer's hand, for them to send forth that living arrow into life. So now you're the bow and they're the arrow. The bow cannot put the arrow. You're the bow. Correct? Are you visualizing? Your children are the arrows, living arrows. They're going into the life itself. Who is the archer? It goes on to say, be glad for the bending of the archer's hand. Who is the archer? You know, the archer has to hold a bow and put the arrow and pull. This is the bending of the archer's hand. He said, be glad for the bending of the archer's hand. Who is the archer? Archer is that supreme consciousness, God, Allah, Christ, name whatever name you'd like to call, or just the unified field if you don't believe in God and believe in nature. It's the bending of the archer's hand, meaning what? You are specially gifted to have a gifted kid. Now retaining or discovering, uncovering that giftedness is the journey, which is what you and I are doing today. I would like you to learning in the school, you and I were told, study, 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 work hard. Why? So that you get good marks. Why? So that you get a good college, good education. Why? So that you will get a good degree. Why? So that you get a good job. Why? So that you will have success. Meaning what? You will earn money. You'll be earning money. And you will be successful and famous. Why? So that you will have a great life and great partner. And then one house in Switzerland, one in US, one in India. I'm very successful. Is that it? Thing. The beauty is, if you hold on to truth, my request to each one of you, parent, grandparent, and the teachers, and every one of us, hold on to that truth. Satyameva Jayate from Mundakya Upanishad. Hold on to that purity and the truth. And just watch how beautifully that nature's expression from your child will emerge on its own. You will experience it yourself. And you will say, wow, I didn't know she could do that or he could do that. That expression, discovering that, is the journey that you and I have to take it up. See, many of you take on the study, the education, is for what? Get a degree, so that they have lots of money and get a good health, good beauty, good partner. I'm saying certainly they're important. Certainly. Everybody wants that success. I'm saying, can you draw a balance? By drawing balance, meaning those things are important, but can you hold on to truth? Can you hold on to say, yes, I'm the gardener? See, have you ever realized, when I say you are perfect, when I say your children are perfect, tell me, do you teach a plant, any plant, do you teach a plant how to grow? Do you teach an apple seed how to produce apple? No. Do you teach a mango seed how to produce mango? Do you teach the apple or the mango seed to when to grow roots, when to grow leaves, when to grow flowers, when to grow fruits? All you and I do as the teachers and the parent is to make sure that they are put into the right place, right manured ground. There is water and sunshine and air and sun. They are getting the right ambience. So you make sure they get the good ambience. Motivate them, inspire them, take on their journey. This international baccalaureate, you know what? One of the reasons why tear comes into my eyes is all of you seniors will agree with me. You know why I tell our children, just now these PYP 5, you know ma'am, they came down to invite me, 4 of them. And they came down with that invitation paper card which is lying on my sofa. They didn't read it out. And you will see them if you go around today, what work Shada ma'am with Ira ma'am, with Pritisha and the rest of the teachers, what they have done. You know, when I look at them, when I heard them, they started talking. I assure you, I'm supposed to be a good speaker. I wasn't a good speaker. I didn't even know how to speak. As a fighter pilot, I remember as a flight lieutenant, I had to attend a commander's conference to become a good commander. I had to speak on a subject which was Jaguar aircraft is a deep penetration strike aircraft. That was the topic. And you know what? I was crazily studying about Jaguar plane. India was going to acquire it. You remember it came in. I was studying it. And I said, wow, my favorite topic. I had to speak 5 minutes extempore. I didn't know how to speak. And when my time came, I went to the rostrum. You get 5 minutes of preparation. I already had studied a lot. I knew everything almost. I went to the rostrum like this. I stood there and my throat dried up. I couldn't talk. All I said, Jaguar aircraft is a deep penetration strike aircraft, and I walked out from there. And I went and slapped myself. I said, you monkey, you don't know how to talk. And I started to say, I must see that these children, they should. You know, the way they were talking, and you experience it. My request to each one of you, take out a little time to see what our principal, head of the program, coordinators, teachers, heads of the program, what are they doing? Amazing. You know, when they finished talking, they asked me, sir, would you come? I said, no. He said, what? You won't come, sir? I said, no. Why? I said, because I'm jealous of you. They said, why? I said, oh, monkey, I can't speak like you. Really, they were so good. Spotless. Those are the kids who are becoming world toppers today through the PYP DP program. And could you and I ever think about becoming an India topper? Think, seriously. Few of us could have maybe badminton, tennis, cricket, squash, chess, could have thought about it. Could we think all-rounder? Meaning everything. I could play instrument very well, I could dance very well, I could sing very well, I can talk very well, I can write very well. You know, 4,000 words English essay they're writing under Jaya Vishrit ma'am, Shada ma'am is the principal. Can you imagine? Could you and I think for a second, be honest, 1,000 words English essay, or let's say 1,500 words English essay. Did you ever get 10 out of 10? Did you ever get 100 out of 100? I know. I used to want to, I never got. And these kids, 4,000 words English essay, they're getting extended essay in the DP program. They're getting 100 out of 100. Can you imagine what skills they have? Where is it? It is inside them. Yours and my challenge is nothing else through these institutions to give them that gift. What is that gift? Discovering, uncovering the secret power from within the child. Is schooling, is parenting, is grandparenting. You and I have to do that. See, our intention is to create this organization. We haven't done it. We are just, all of us, including you, parent, and the teachers, we are Amazon.com delivery guy. It is supposed to have been coordinated, you know, justified beautifully and just harmonized to happen. And yes, you and I have to play our role very sincerely all the time. Guide them through. Let them finish their DP and just watch what they will become. You know, you and I try to say, no, let them become a doctor. Let them become an engineer. Hey, listen, 5-6 years ago, what was Pune? In Pune, professionals, many of you were there at that time. Did you think about this would be your future 6 years later? Many of you have changed. What will happen 10 years from today? They're 5th graders today. 10 years will be finished DP, and 2 to 3 years they're doing undergrad program. Can you imagine what the world will be? This is what the IB with the Vedanta is doing, is crystallizing them that you can do what? Anything. So success comes in can. You know the fruit can, juice can? It comes in cans and not cannot. My son is not that type. No. You are not that type. He is that type. She is that type. Let's take on the journey. Thank you very much for being there. My greetings and congratulations to each one of you, mentor. Thank you for sharing. And you, parent, without you, children can't be here. You're the one who have been specially guided to come here. And thank you, my teachers and Principal Shada ma'am, with the head of the program, coordinator. And I see one more success story who used to be here in this school as a teacher, as a mentor. And Rajat sir, would you please stand up? That's Rajat Gandhi. And he went ahead and became a very famous today. You know, he's become today Royal Enfield, and he has been traveling all around. Sometime about 3 years back when I heard him the project that he's taken it up, I said just watch what happens to you. You know what? He's got already national recognition in 2 places for awards. So congratulations to each one of you for his success story. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and motivating words. I would now like to request our passionate and versatile PYP head, Mrs. Ira Ghosh, who is also an IBEN member and a PYP workshop leader for Asia Pacific, to please come up and extend the vote of thanks.
Good morning to everyone. It's lovely to be seeing some familiar faces here. I have seen some of you being in the same place a couple of years before for the graduation of your first child, and now you're going through the same process again for the second child, and then of course a lot of new faces. I hope we get to connect throughout the day. I have a lot to say, but honestly running short of words, so I think I'm just going to skip to the script. This is an event from morning 8:39 to 3:30, which is honestly larger than life. So bear with me for a few minutes while I have a lot of people to thank in the next few minutes. I can go ahead and tell you about the science that talks to us in the research about how capable these kids are. And of course, it's not a surprise for a 10-year-old or a 5th grader to be able to doing this. But personally, I'd like to call it something opposite of the science, which is magic. And I think magic only happens in places that there is an environment created for it to happen. There is an environment surrounded by people that allow magic to happen. So I'd like to believe what's happening today is magic. Of course, it can be backed up by educational research. To start with, I'd like to thank God, divinity, light, Almighty, whoever you'd like to call, for once again being by our side, by our parents and students' side, spiritually, and helping us to make this event what it is. On behalf of the entire PYP team, I'd like to extend a really hearty word of thanks to our president and principal for giving us full agency and empowering us for taking decisions. You are the true catalyst that stimulated us to do our best. Every single time that we came to your office with pitching an idea for this event, you just said one statement: sure, go ahead. You give us full agency. Every batch of students, every year for us is unique. Some of them are art inclined, some of them are science inclined, some of them are IT inclined. Of course, every action that they choose to take is also different. This is the first time that our students have decided to actually call adult experts to share their opinion and guidance with the community. So this is the first time that we've actually had a panel discussion, which was the students' idea. I'd like to thank all our guests for actually inviting this invitation and being a part of the students' journey. Thank you so much. An event like this does not happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months ago, and to be honest, a year ago, when these kids are in PYP 4 and we are analyzing their capabilities and inclinations, and we see what it's going to look like in PYP 5. We've been very fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very proactive and dedicated PYP 5 educators that were led by our very dynamic PYP 5 coordinator. I have seen them analyze, research, debate, self-study, change, then make more changes, and do everything possible to make sure the students have a rich inquiry process for their exhibition and graduation. So thank you all the PYP 5 teachers and our PYP coordinator. I'd like to call on stage our mentors, our PYP 5 exhibition mentors. I'd like to please call you on the stage. These are the mentors of your students going through the exhibition journey. I need to mention my deepest sense of appreciation for our mentors. For taking up this responsibility, I need to mention additional to their normal classroom responsibilities, for their ideas, for the art of facilitating inquiry, and an elegance of explanation of things to the students. What is happening today is the representation of all the hard work and the belief you've had in the kids. So thank you so much. I also extend thanks to all the departments that have been involved, the visual arts, the performing arts, the ICT, the music, the admin, for working together and their enormous cooperation with the PYP program. I am honestly short of words for the students because they might be young and just 10 years old, but they really have great minds. They've had an expansion of their capabilities through the last few months. Thank you, students, for your untiring efforts. These 5th graders, trust me, have done so much. They have taken conscious effort to actually make a difference, keeping in mind UN sustainable goals, and yet keeping in mind their expression, mode of expression. That's what a 10-year-old is doing today. They have taken conscious effort to make this world a better place for us. And trust me, they have already made this world a better place for us today, right here, right now. So thank you so much, students. Our sincere gratitude goes to, of course, all of you parents and well-wishers for being the rock-solid support system and encouragement. Without you actually supporting the students through this journey, additional to their academics, they will not be able to achieve excellence in their chosen field. Thank you so much for being here and attending. I would like to thank MYP and DP for sharing their resources, the other PYP students for sharing their classrooms, their specialists, their teachers, for just simply having a smile on their face. After all, it's a family affair, right? It's the VK celebration. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank every single person who worked behind the stage to make this event happen. Our technicians, stage setting, lighting, music, everyone. And everyone else that I have missed out taking name. So a round of applause for everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ira ma'am. As we come to the end of this wonderful ceremony, we express our gratitude to all you audience. Your energy, enthusiasm, and support have been the heart and soul of the event. Your presence here today has made this ceremony truly unforgettable. We still have presentations, workshop, and performances scheduled in the day. You may now proceed for your lunch. Break time will be till 1:15. 1:15, presentation and workshops will resume. For the agenda, there are QR codes. You can scan the QR code and get the agenda. You may have also received it in your email. You can refer to the agenda for the venue of the workshop and presentation. I also request you to leave your valuable feedback for the children. There is a reflection tree created right at the back. Kindly leave your feedback for the whole experience, whichever portions that you would want to write for. We have also created a photo booth for the event, and there will be some robes kept there. You can take pictures at the photo booth after the workshops and the presentation. Thank you. Have a beautiful and exciting day of learning ahead of you. Thank you.